Hi everyone, it's Fitz with your daily delivery. Hope you're doing well. I am great. On Tuesday morning, we got to see our first glimpse of Kansas State spring football. A short session for the media to attend. Didn't see much. They ran a few plays here and there. We could kind of see some depth. We got some coverage already up at GoPowercat. But today we're going to talk about what you want to hear. It's about the quarterbacks. You all want to talk about the quarterbacks. And let's get to that right now, because it was interesting. It actually was interesting. I'm going to break some news here. Hang on to your patooey. I don't know what a patooey is. I just say that. Avery Johnson's going to start at quarterback for Kansas State. I'm going to say it now, if healthy. You had to add that, because what if? But that is why you're interested, isn't it? What if? Who would go next? Well, as of the start of spring ball, it looks like redshirt freshman Blake Barnett is maneuvered into that number 2 spot ahead of Jacob Knuth, who was number 3 last year. But we assumed, since he was number 2 for the bowl game, he would be, of course, number 2 for the spring. But maybe that's not true. And of course, we don't know how close this is. Maybe it's just Blake Barnett got to start as the number 2 this week. I'm not sure, but I'm told if they had to go now, Barnett would be the backup. That's very intriguing to me because he's a different player than Avery Johnson. A much different player, even in stature. Now, they list Avery at 6'3". You've seen Avery. He's tall and lean. I just saw some Avery photos of when he arrived and what he looked like this spring without his shirt on, and it's astonishing how much he's developed. Blake Barnett's a different build. He's short and squatty, and I don't mean that in a fat way. I mean in a powerful way. They list him at 6'1". That's optimistic in my view. Maybe I'm just totally off from my viewing angle up by the ceiling. That guy ain't 6'1", but everyone tells me that guy, Blake Barnett, is an absolute warrior. In fact, someone used the comparison to Colin Klein, not physically, but how he'll put his head down and get the job done no matter how much it hurts and no matter who he has to run over. Let's remind you who he is. He's not just the guy that came in last year as a true freshman quarterback. He's the guy his senior year in high school won a state championship in Colorado, playing the game injured. He got injured, played the entire game, and then found out it was a broken leg. He played on a broken leg. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not playing on a broken leg. In fact, if I sprain an ankle, I'm going to ask to be euthanized over on the sidelines. But I'm soft. Obviously, Blake Barnett is not. Jacob Knuth is still around on the roster, still looks good. He really does. We'll see where he fits in, because it looked like he was kind of battling with Dylan Duff, the new freshman who's come in from the St. Louis area, who they're also very high on. They feel like they've rebuilt this quarterback room into something very tangible with a huge upside, because we're talking about freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and how they can develop and become truly backups for Avery Johnson. We don't know if this will be Avery's last season. Maybe it is if he's throwing the ball all over the field. He looks big, confident, and capable. But he did throw a lot of interceptions last year. Is that good enough to get him to the next level now? Or will he need another year of college football to grow into the NFL role? We don't know. He'll be here a year, maybe 2, and then these guys can take over. And these guys look pretty darn good. We'll see how it all pans out through the spring. Hey, and I want to give a shout out to Hudson Hutchison, the walk-on from Lubbock, Texas, who's still on the roster. He's the 5th quarterback out there doing his work. He knows he's buried on the depth chart, but he's doing his work, and I admire that. So that's the 5 guys. We'll see how it all pans out and what it looks like in the fall. Because, of course, I'll be doing this all over in the fall, because you know what? You want to know about the quarterbacks. I could do another one tomorrow, and you'd still watch it. That's just the way it works. Everyone loves the quarterbacks.